All right, let's go ahead and discuss Bitcoin once again today because we are getting that pullback that I warned about. Just looking at order flow from our last video, we did see some top longers jumping in after a short squeeze. We had that clean swing failure pattern into this 200 daily EMA, as well as this previous sweep level from this low back here at 58.2, and we are now falling pretty sharply after rejecting this previous fixed range value area low all the way back from this previous low end range that we made in May at around 56k. So certainly not the best sign to see that, but also not the end of the world at all. We still do have some more volume levels to find support at, such as down here. This is also a previous sweep level that would also sweep these lows within here, so we could actually mark that out as well. If we were to get a wick through this volume level, that could make sense to kind of take out liquidity from all of these late longers within here, and we could also just be finding the low right now, holding these higher lows within here, within this point of control, this big value area of our fixed range that we are currently making in the charts right now. And the timing of this dump is actually something I don't mind, because as we talked about in our last video, CME has been closed over the weekend, meaning if price were to close up here where we were sitting yesterday, a pullback was very likely. Now that we are seeing that pullback on price on Sunday, that means we're not going to be opening up here creating that gap to the downside. We might even close a little bit lower, creating a gap to the upside, meaning that that would be a confluence for the bulls. Right now the CME close price was 56,655. Right now Bitcoin, at least on this contract, is sitting at 56,275. So that's something I like to see there. Currently, if we were to close here, we're going to have a gap to the upside within this box here, meaning that yeah, going into Monday, we likely see this box get taken. Now, obviously, this doesn't mean much. We could just come up to a small retrace and then roll back over. You know, this box right here in itself isn't going to give the bulls too much. But the main point I want to make here is that we're not going to have this big box to the downside, as if we were to close price up here. Well, yeah, now you're going to be almost guaranteed to go ahead and test that. So the fact we're already testing it is not that bad. I mean, we kind of expected to come down here to close out CME anyway. So yeah, we'll just see if we can start holding these supports, especially, you know, because this is going to open very soon here. And Mondays and Tuesdays are historically pretty bullish days for Bitcoins. So certainly good to see we are going to open right back where traditional finance ended off the week, and we will see that continuation in whatever direction was meant for Bitcoin to go after what I would consider more of a low volume manipulation. This was kind of just to trap some longs up here, a little game for market makers during the weekend to return us back to the mean. So since I do believe we're pretty much where we left off, again, very 50-50 on what price wants to do from here. I'm not seeing anything too bullish, too bearish, anything like that. Order flow is very 50-50 right now as well. What do we want to be watching out for on the charts? What are some levels to hold for this bullish continuation to potentially all-time highs? And well, as we talked about, this volume level down here, previous sweep level, I also have the value area low of the range. We also have the value area low of this like cluster within here, you know, this volume cluster, as well as the point of control that we are currently bouncing off right now. So those are kind of the volume levels. And then if we go over to the daily time frame, we got something on the RSI to look at too. If you remember, we have a 1 day bullish divergence here on the daily time frame. Extremely bullish thing to see on the charts, and all we want to do is to hold trend. So if price is to come down here, you know, maybe that value area low, something like that, we just want to see trend on the 1 day RSI hold. As long as we can keep the higher lows on our relative strength index, that is going to be a good sign for this being confirmed and for it to play out. And daily bullish divergences, when they do play out, signal macro bottoms for a retracement that I at least expect us to get up here, as well as potentially all-time highs, as we've been talking about in my latest videos. And I'm still not ruling out much higher. But let's keep it on the short-term time frame because we are at such a critical level. Let's look at some more places we could be looking at holding if we were to pull back some more here. So first things first, we have somewhat of a poor low on the TPO profile, just one single print tail. This could be valid. This could get swept. So if this were to get swept, let's see if we can actually get the swing failure pattern of that level. This level is at 56,000 on the dot. So I'll go ahead and leave this sweep level in the charts. We'll be watching out for that. Also, we can pull our fibs just to kind of see where we are on those, and as you can see, we have pierced this 382, but still quite a bit away from that golden pocket. So anything into these lower fibs is still acceptable. If we were to come down to the 58 to 786, no problem, although the higher up on the fibs you hold, the more bullish it is. So let's see if we can kind of maybe just sweep this, hold the 0.5, and then come back up and, hold support higher up on these fibs. But fibs themselves aren't too great of confluence as far as levels go, right? They're not as good as volume levels or TPO levels. But yeah, certainly the fibs are showing us that a pullback to a 382 is nothing to be scared about. This is completely expected. On any uptrend or downtrend, it mathematically makes the most sense to pull back to your 618 during that trend up, and that's how you kind of continue bullish trends to the upside with those bullish corrections on the way up. Nothing really to worry about coming into these fibs, but these are some levels to watch, as if we were to come down and reject the golden pocket, that would be a pretty bearish sign. We're not there yet, though. Just some things to be thinking about. To the upside, we had talked about the single prints up here, these inefficiencies, imbalances in the chart that were likely to get grabbed. The fact that we did not grab them is actually pretty bullish. Potentially they are saving that for later, so we'll see if we do come up to these levels, see what the reaction is on them. Are we just going to blast through the imbalances, or are we going to have a clear rejection, swing failure, and then maybe roll over from there? Only time will tell, but these are some levels to watch for, and it's actually kind of bullish that we did not grab it first. We have the sweep level back here, a lot of liquidity up in there. I will say though, during this entire downtrend on Bitcoin, we haven't really been grabbing those poor highs. At least right here, we really didn't. I thought for sure we would go ahead and kind of grab this before coming back down. We did not do that. So definitely still be cautious. We don't need to actually come up and grab these higher levels. So I'll make sure to watch this carefully just to see how it plays out. But yeah, the probabilities are in favor of you grabbing that, showing that they probably saved that for later. We're probably going to see a bullish Monday and Tuesday. This was likely just to grab those longs that were piling on up here. If you were watching this candle form, you could probably guess those were cascading liquidations. You can see these candles on the 5-minute time frame squeezed down very quickly, and it was in fact a squeeze because open interest on Binance was closing out of positions. This is your highest volume pair in all of crypto. And over here on Bybit, we actually see them opening shorts within this level. And because the pair with the most amount of volume was closing out of positions while they were opening positions, tells me that this move was more of just longs closing, and that these shorts are likely going to get trapped because they are shorting into something that is not actually bearish continuation, and they started shorting towards the lows. You can see within these candles here, pretty even on that footprint, whereas when you get down here to the lows, much more sell imbalances, especially in this candle. So assuming price can accept above this level, which it is now currently trying to do, that would go ahead and trap all of your Bybit shorts that were panicking at the lows right there. So let's see if this does indicate a short squeeze, but order flow does change on a dime. We could easily just close out all of these shorts real quickly and then roll over bearish once again. That's not really too much confirmation of anything, but so the best thing we can do is just kind of watch price here. Can we get above these volume levels, start flipping them back into support and holding this area on considerable time frame candles, maybe just kind of ranging until CME does open, and then once CME opens, this is going to be the true tell. Are we going to be able to hold these volume supports, go on up, flip them back into support, or are we going to simply just come up here, reject them on that open of CME, and then go down for the continuation lower? Very critical level right here on Bitcoin. And I think how markets react when they do open back up on Monday is going to be a telltale sign of where Bitcoin is going to continue in the following weeks to come. And real quickly, I want to cover the altcoin market, because not only are we at a critical level on Bitcoin, we're even at a more critical level on the altcoin market, especially with Bitcoin dominance coming back up today. You can see we did kind of flip this daily EMA back into supports. So we'll see if this is just more of a retracement and then roll over once again on the dominance, giving us that signal for the altcoin season, or if Bitcoin is going to flip bearish, meaning the dominance is likely to go up. And in that scenario, that would not look good for your altcoins, because we are at a very critical level for your altcoin market, back below this sweep level that we really need to be holding on, I would say, our weekly time frame. If we are comparing the fractals from last cycle, as we discussed in the last video, we probably want to be holding this on our higher term time frames. I would say, because we only have 2 hours left here, if we do close under this, it's not the end of the world, but certainly on next week's candle, we want to get back above this sweep level, probably even within the next 3 days. So if you do have 3 or 2 day candles, these are big time frames to look at, because I actually used the 3-day candles for my thumbnail of last video because I found that actually looked much more similar on a fractal basis. So we'll be watching the altcoin market with a very close eye here to make sure we are confirming this back into support, getting back within this range for that continuation higher. Currently we are holding this point of control, good sign to see and a good level to watch as well. So yeah, today once again very similar data we're seeing on the charts, very 50-50 on what the next move is going to be, but still at a very critical level to keep an eye on closely. I'm still team bull. I'm not selling over anything I'm seeing right now, but let's keep a close eye on things, stay vigilant in the markets, and if you have any questions about anything I talked about in this video or just want to join the community for this channel, link to my Discord is in the description down below. Also down there you will find a sign up and event link that I'm hosting with BingX right now. They're an awesome exchange with some awesome rewards for you guys. If you do want to get some free money with deposit bonuses, stuff like that, definitely go check that out as well. And with that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.